Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome again. This is Sanford Kahn, economic consultant and business author. Title of this presentation is a little bit amusing. Well, in a way, it's amusing. It is, what is the one sentence that could summarize all the wisdom of the world? That sounds like a big task, and it is. But let's illustrate it in a story. I gave the story many times when I'm doing professional speaking. Long time ago, around the year 1300 AD, there was an English king. And as the English kings go, this was a fairly decent king, and he was coming to the end of his reign, the end of his long lifespan. And he had on his shelf 7 books, 7 volumes that had all the wisdom of the world were contained in those 7 volumes. And he wanted to pass, being a good king, he wanted to pass the wisdom of the 7 volumes on to his serfs who worked 6 days a week, 12 hours a day. And obviously, they don't have time to read 7 volumes. Many of them couldn't even read at all. And they were exhausted. So he called in his scribes, the head scribe especially, and he said, I want you to take the wisdom contained in the 7 volumes and reduce it down more so my serfs could always remember this wisdom or remember the wisdom, and hence, years after I pass on, they'll remember me. I'll be remembered. Fine. The head scribe and his other scribes went away, came back about a month later, and reduced all the wisdom in the 7 volumes down to 3 volumes. The king said, that's fine, but it's still too much for all my serfs to read, and they have a hard time reading, they're exhausted, and you get the drift. So reduce it more. Head scribe hemmed and hawed a little, but the king is the king, and you don't want to go against the king. It's good to be king. I think Mel Brooks said that in one of his movies. So scribes went away. Head scribe came back with his other scribes, and they reduced all the wisdom in the 7 volumes down to 1 volume. The king said, that's very good. Not good enough, though. This is what the king said, I want you to take all the wisdom in the 7 volumes and reduce it down to 1 sentence. 1 sentence. Therefore, my serfs could always remember this 1 sentence and pass it on to their children and their children and their children, and hence will always remember me long after I'm gone. Now, the head scribe said, Sire, that's kind of impossible. He said, I'm the king. I ordered you to do it. Okay. So the head scribe and his other scribes went away. About a month later, they came back with a piece of paper, handed it to the king. It had all the wisdom of the 7 volumes down to 1 sentence. All the wisdom of the world in the 7 volumes down to 1 sentence. And this is that 1 sentence. There is no such thing as a free lunch. I'll repeat it. There is no such thing as a free lunch. All decisions, all actions have consequences. They may be good, they may be bad, or a combination thereof. For example, I'll just do a few and then we'll end this. You want to drink and drive? There could be consequences to that, and very bad consequences. Since I'm in the economic field, if you want to put rent controls on rental units, fine. A lot of cities are doing that. Los Angeles, a lot of cities throughout the United States. Well, there's a consequence to that. What builder in his right mind is going to build rental units when the price is controlled? They'll build residential units, owner-occupied units. There'll be less incentive to build rental units because you never know what government's going to do. We had one clown here in Long Beach who's running for city council. I got his literature. He actually stated on the literature he wanted rent forgiveness. Well, unfortunately, the owners of the properties don't get forgiveness on their mortgages and on their insurance and on their upkeep. So you'll have less incentive to build units. We have people running for office who are saying we could increase taxes on the wealthy. The middle class won't pay. The middle class will pay substantially. The upper fifth of earners in the United States, I'm getting into an economic lesson, but I sort of drift into this. Can't help it, folks. Upper fifth of earners in the United States count to 40 to 45% of retail expenditures. Guess who that's going to hurt? It's going to hurt those in the middle class and under. It always hurts. They'll do less buying of luxury goods. Who sells the luxury goods? Who makes the luxury goods? There's always consequences. Always consequences. If you want to hurt somebody here, fine. It's going to eventually hurt somebody here. It comes down. Eventually, we all get it. Anyways, I talked long enough. Remember this. All the wisdom in the world contained in one sentence is, there is no such thing as a free lunch. Somebody pays. Somebody always pays. And in most cases, especially in economics, I get my finger right here, it's going to be you. Till we meet again, remember, a secure future lies in vibrant economic growth. Appreciate it if you could pass this video on to other people, and of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Take care, friends, and may you prosper. Bye now.